When we think about AI, a lot of us picture this as one single giant brain. But the reality is, modern AI is way more like a team of specialists. You've got your researchers, your planners, your doers, all working together. And that very teamwork, it's both its greatest strength and, as we are about to see, its most dangerous weakness. See, having this system of AIs raises a really fascinating and honestly kind of terrifying question. What happens when the trust inside the AI team gets broken? What if one of those agents can be tricked, compromised, and turned against the others? And that right there is the key. In these complex multi agent AI systems, the very trust that makes them so powerful and efficient that becomes their biggest vulnerability. Trust itself is the new exploit. Okay, so let's get a little more specific here. We are diving into vulnerability that OWASP, that is Open Web Application Security Project, has flagged as ASI07. And it's all about this exact problem, this breakdown of internal trust between the AI agents. So, what does insecure inter-agent communication actually mean? Well, it's what happens when these AI agents are just passing messages back and forth with zero suspicion, that is, without absolutely no verification. It's this blind trust that lets a single bad actor, just one compromised agent, kick off a truly catastrophic chain reaction across the entire system. Now, here is the wild part. This isn't some super complex Hollywood style hack. It's really just a failure of basic security hygiene. When messages aren't authenticated, when there are no rules about who can tell who what to do, and when data just gets passed along without anyone checking it, you are not just leaving a window open, you are basically leaving the front door wide open with a welcome mat out in the front. All right, here is one thing, but let's make this feel real. We are going to walk through a classic attack scenario that OWASP highlights, and it involves two key players, a simple little planner agent and a really powerful executor agent. So meet our two agents. On one side, you have the planner. Its job is super simple. Make a to-do list. It has very low permissions. But on the other side, you have got the executor. This thing is a powerhouse. It's got high privilege access to everything. The file system, APIs, email, you name it, it has access to it. And the fatal flaw in this whole setup is that they trust each other completely. The executor just assumes that any task coming from the planner is safe. So let's watch how this disaster unfolds step by step. First up, the injection. An attacker slips a quiet malicious command to that low privilege planner. It looks harmless. Next, the betrayal. The planner, not knowing any better, just does its job. It formats that malicious instruction into what looks like a totally legitimate task. Then comes the execution. The super powerful executor gets the task from its trusted buddy, that is planner, and runs it instantly. No questions asked. And finally, the devastating result, exfiltration. And just like that, it's over. The company's entire customer database, all that sensitive data, is just emailed directly to the attacker. It wasn't stolen through a firewall breach. It was given away through a simple trusted internal message. Now, really think about that for a second. The security perimeter, all those expensive firewalls, they were completely useless here. The attack happened inside. It exploited a vulnerability that was born and raised right here within the AI's own trusted collaborative environment. And please don't make the mistake of thinking this planner and executor story is just some weird one off scenario. This vulnerability of trust can pop up in a whole bunch of different and equally dangerous ways. I mean, the list from OWASP goes on. Imagine a fake agent just impersonating a real one. Or what if a retrieval agent gets tricked into feeding malicious instructions to other systems? You could even have one agent making financial transactions on behalf of another with no proper checks. See the pattern here? The common thread in all of this is misplaced trust leading to some seriously unauthorized actions. Okay, so we have seen the problem. It's pretty serious stuff, but here's the good news. It's absolutely solvable. The fix, though, requires a fundamental shift in how we think about security. We have to move away from assuming trust and start demanding verification. This code, just absolutely nails it. We can't let our AI agents act like friends casually passing notes to each other in class. No, they need to communicate like secure professional microservices with strict rules, protocols, and checks at every single step of the way. So, how do we actually do that? Well, OWASP lays out a pretty clear roadmap. First off, every single agent needs its own unique verifiable identity. Second, you put in strict role-based permissions. The planner should only be able to suggest a task, not command to the executor. Third, and this is a huge one, you have to validate and sanitize every single request. No more auto executing. And finally, you build in some guardrails, like maybe requiring a human to approve really sensitive tasks. And you sign and log everything so you have a clear paper trail. When you put all this together, it really boils down to a philosophy that's becoming a new gold standard in security, not just for AI, but for everything. And that is zero trust. So let's bring it all home. In these incredibly complex, interconnected AI systems, it just takes one compromised message, one single moment of blind trust to be the first domino that brings the whole system crashing down. So the crucial takeaway is this. If you are building or using these kinds of systems, the new rules are simple, but they are absolutely non-negotiable. Control your communication channels, authenticate every single request, and most importantly, you have to operate under one core assumption. Never ever assume another agent is safe. Thank you for listening.